My crash-damaged Audi S3 has come a long way. From being dumped on my driveway, we've got it started, fixed the front end, and solved some hidden steering problems. Now it's had some well-needed bodywork. What better way to test out my workmanship than taking it round a track at 100 mile an hour? But first, it's back from paint. And I could not be happier with this. Bumper's done, wings done, this door's been blended, that door's been blended, this has been pulled out, and it is looking absolutely perfect, especially across that line there, the crease, which I thought was going to be a nightmare to do. They've got it spot on. Rear bumper's been done, this has been blended, so pretty much half the car's been repainted, and it is looking really, really good. And whilst the car was away, I may have gotten a little bit carried away ordering some new parts. We've got an RS3 front splitter. Now that's an RS3 replica bumper, so we're going to have to make some modifications to fit this one on. We've got a CT carbon rear spoiler, and we've got a delicious set of new wheels. So there was no time to waste. Let's get this car rebuilt so I can go hurtling around a racetrack and end up with more damage than when we started. Off came the bumper again for hopefully the last time. Lots of parts that had been stripped off for paint needed to go back on, like the wire loom, washer jets, and the black grills. We've got the bumper off, but from the trip back and forth to the body shop, we have got a lot of dirt and salt, which has ended up under here, and also under here, and inside the new wing. So I'm going to pop this off and give everything a good clean. You can see how much water this foam piece holds in there, and that sits right in there, protecting the door and everything behind it. But you can see how easy all that will rust down there with just that water in. That is a dirty wing. Just look at all that. What a terrible idea it was driving around without a wheel arch. But we live and learn. We'll clean it up. It'll be alright. A full winter of salty roads and living next to the sea definitely hasn't done me any favours, but a quick jet wash should get the worst of it off and slow the rust down a bit. Once that was cleaned off, it was time to start building the bumper back up with the gloss black trims. I can't say these were a perfect fit, but with a bit of persuasion, they slid straight in. Then I removed the tint off the original passenger headlight. I can't say I was a massive fan of it, and it needed to come off anyway so it would match the driver's side. Okay, almost there. Front bumper to go on. Got to replace this horn because it's cracked and sounds like a clown car. Wheel arch needs to go in. The little foam insert needs to go in here. And then under tray. And I think that's pretty much it. And with that back on, it was time to fit the bumper for good. Unless, of course, I decide to have a massive off on the track later on. Next was the wheel arch. This was a brand new part, never fitted to a car before, so it took a lot of bending and persuasion to fit it over the suspension and then up into the wing. And with that, we had a complete car. Now we can move on to the fun things. Okay, so now something a little bit trickier. This splitter is for an RS3. That bumper is an RS3 replica. So there's going to be a little bit of difference between the mounting points of that and that. Plan is, offer it up. I think I'm going to tape it on, try and get it to sit right, and then figure out where to drill the holes, what to mount it to, what's best. Now an actual RS3 has wider wheel arches by around 10mm. Wider arches means a wider bumper, which means a wider splitter. So I was a bit worried about this not fitting properly and overhanging on each side. So I spent a long time offering it up, checking it fitted before starting to drill the holes, and plenty of holes it was. I did not want this thing flying off down the road. Alright, it's looking good. It's looking good. We've got 3 bolts through the bottom of there, and the fit is looking real nice. Next was the spoiler. In hindsight, I should have put a little bit more sticky tape on this thing, but we'll see. There was nothing to line this up properly, as it was a tiny bit shorter on each side than the boot, so in the end, I just winged it. And off came the tints on the rear lights. This was definitely an improvement. And finally, what I think sets this car off really well, the wheels. I spent a lot of time questioning these, but I think the matte bronze really goes with the dark blue. Let me know what you think in the comments. Just like that, we had a complete car at last. And boy does it look good. Now's the time to hit those like and subscribe buttons, I would really appreciate it. Now about that track day. Before we get there, I had one last mod to make, which will hopefully help improve my braking. This little thing is going to sit on the lower arm, and if my hand was the brake, air is going to flow into this, flow up here, and hit the brake disc, and cool it down. Perfect. These are the brake cooling ducts off an RS3. They should help keep things cool while hurtling around the track, because cooler brakes mean better brakes, and they were only 40 quid. And while we're under here, I'm just going to double check the torque on some of these bolts to make sure nothing falls off on the track. Then it was on to the other side, and this is where things took a turn for the worse. How are we looking under here? Oh dear. So this is really, really bad. I've taken the wheel off. I can't really get in it. That is not good. That looks like, I don't know, CV boot grease? Now for those that don't know, CV grease should be inside this thing here, the CV boot. This lubricates the bearings of the CV joint that connects your gearbox to your drive shaft and makes your wheels go round. Pretty important stuff. Further investigation is necessary. Oh, I don't know, it doesn't look like it's split, but the clip on the back looks like maybe it's got loose and the grease is working its way out through there, so could be a track day stopper, to be honest. Yeah. So it looked like that was it, the final hurdle, and we had failed. But I couldn't let this stop me. If this car's taught me anything, it's that there's always a solution, no matter what. Alright, good news. The CV boot doesn't look damaged. You can see in there, it's all intact. Now I think it's coming from the back of it, up against the gearbox. And my plan is take the intake pipe off here to give me a bit more room. And then, I don't know if you can see it, that silver part is the band, the clip. So I'm going to try and get down there and crimp the clip a little bit tighter because there's some room to go on it. Okay, so I tightened it, cleaned it up, taken it for a half-hour drive, and it seems to be okay. And we're going to run with it. We're going to get it to the track day. If anything else does happen to it, I have got some spare stuff to fix it now. I've got some CV grease, I've got some spare clamps, so fingers crossed, it's all right. With the final 3 cable ties clipped, it was time. Months and months of hard work has accumulated in this. Hurtling around a racetrack at 100 mile an hour, what an experience. It really was a test of how well I'd done all those bolts up. Considering my only track experience up to this point was playing Gran Turismo, I don't think I was doing too badly. After many laps, it was fully put to the test, and you can see how hot the brakes got here. Those RS3 brake ducts were definitely put to good use. All in all, a brilliant day. It didn't break down, not a single thing fell off, and not one problem from the CV boot. And that's it, my Audi S3 is finally repaired. If you've liked this, hit that subscribe button, there's plenty more where this came from. And for now,